which training you are going into and what is the timing of the training. The same will also be visible by the end of the day on UMS to all of you. Now, how are the trainings going to be conducted? Let's understand that. So you will have 3 hour sessions, irrespective of which training you have, minimum 3 hours of session with the trainer. So let's say you are in Java. So in Java, you will have a 3 hour session with the trainer in Java. And when you have the 3 hour session with Java, after that, there would be a 2 hour practice session, which is a self-based practice session. So you would be assigned a portal. On that portal, there would be questions put in by the trainer who is teaching you. That trainer will have shared at least 10, 20 questions every day. Now, whenever these questions are shared, you would have to complete those questions on the same day. The questions will be marked as mandatory and the other questions would be available for practice. Okay, now when this practice session is there, you have to do nothing. You have to just do those programming questions which are given to you after the class. Please do not put any question into the QA section because I'm not answering any question from there. Okay, so irrespective of whether you are putting it there or not, it is getting dismissed automatically by my team. Okay, so until and unless I open it to Q&A, don't do that and listen to the query, what I'm saying, and there would be no query. Okay, now minimum 3 hours input, depending on which input you are having, either C++, Java, and some. In some, that trainings would be more. For like Flutter and Golang, there might be 4 hour training, and for CP, there might be 5 hour training. Okay, so there would be trainings which are there for the inputs that are there, minimum 3 hours, and then 2 hour practice sessions. In this 2 hour practice session on a platform, questions would have been punched, and you would see those questions, and you would have to attend those questions. Okay, then when you are attempting those questions, if you attempt that questions properly, then you will get the attendance for that particular practice hours. If you do not attempt those questions, you are not going to get attendance for the practice hours. So the attendance is going to be there for the training as well as for the practice hours. Practice hours, the training is only going to be there with the help of whether you have completed the practice questions or not, and if you haven't completed, you're not going to get the attendance. So we are very clear that 2 sessions would be there. One would be the trainer session in which teaching would be there, examples discussion, hands-on would be there, and then after that practice sessions would be there. You have to do both. Now, the students who have been shortlisted for CP are the ones who are going to be in CP. Now there is no further test that is going to be there, that you would be allowed to go for CPA with the base of that test. If you miss the test, you missed it. Now there is no option to go for the test. Okay, we are very clear on that. We have considered the stock ranking. We have considered everything. So if you had a very good profile on, Hacker Earth, Lead Code, Code Forces, then you would have already been considered. So the idea is very clear that we will not be able to entertain requests for getting added into the competitive programming classes, and no change of choice or preference that has been given by the student would be entertained. So if you have chosen C++, you stick with C++, no change. Those who did not poll, you do not have any right to choice now. Whatever has been allotted to you, under all circumstances, you have to go for that training only. Okay, so there is no change that is going to be entertained. Let us be very clear about it. The chance was given to change every opportunity you had. Okay, after the session, as I said, guys, you will get the link for that Google Sheet, not within the session. You'll get that link as soon as I say I'm ending the session, and within 5 minutes in your my messages, that link will start popping up and you could have that. Okay, clear? So students had the chance. So those who are saying lead code was not there in stop stock, I'm very clear. Don't worry. You had that 2 test. If you were doing exceptionally in that 2 test, you were doing good in AMCAT, you were doing good in CoCubes, you would have been shortlisted. Stop stock is a wild card entry. after all the students that I have shortlisted from the two test we took, the test we took for AMCAT, the test we took for CoCubes, after that, we have moved into the wildcards. The wildcards are based on if any students who were very good at stop stock but was not shortlisted, we had given them the room. So every student had that option of those tests which were there on 15th to take those tests. From those tests, if you performed well, you had done very good out of that, then you would be able to make it into the competitive coding classes. If you didn't do perform there well and you say, sir, I'm very good on one portal, that is not going to be considered. Okay. Now, a very important thing. All these trainings are going to be online. Okay. I know there is some problem, but it is not a problem from my camera that you are saying there's a blinking in the video. I can see that, but I think so there's or something, but I've tried to rectify it as good as possible. So I'm not sure whether I would be able to rectify it right now, but no worries, we can manage the session with that blinking as well. Okay, so there's not something that I'm showing that would be needed in that manner. So whenever I share my screen, that blinking will go off anyway. Okay, so all the trainings would be in online platform. Okay. Now, when we say an online platform, for different tray vendors, they would might be using different platforms. For example, some might be using Zoom, some might be using, I would say, uh, Cisco WebEx, some might be using Google Meet, some might be using our own My Class, some might be using Microsoft Teams or any other online. If they have their own, they would be using their own platform. So these platforms would be there, and the recordings of these sessions will not be available because these trainers, they do trainings a lot and they do trainings on different portals where the training sessions are paid. So the recording of the sessions will not be available for most of the trainers. Those trainers, they are ready to share. We have said, okay, you can share it with the students. Those trainers who do not want to share, we are okay, you don't share it with the students. So your particular trainer would let you know whether they are going to share it or not. If they're not going to share it, neither you are going to ask for the sharing. Okay, you're not going to request us or request the vendor that that trainer is sharing. Why are you not sharing? So this is very clear that if that trainer is not sharing, it's okay. You do not say anything. You attend your classes properly. You understand there would be doubt clearing classes and everything. Completely fine. Okay. No barging in and saying nahi wo trainer de raha hai to hame bhi chahiye. Those kind of things should not happen very clearly. Now come in, let's understand when these trainings are happening and you would have your regular classes, CAs and all that, and how we'll take care of that. Let's understand that. So let's suppose I'm taking an example, or let me share my screen and take that example. Okay. So let's suppose a student has a class at 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And then the student has another class from, let's say, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then the practice session from, let's say, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, a very good thing about the practice session is now, so let's say this is the teaching hours and there is, let's say this is the teaching hours, this is the practice hours which are there. Now, when you have the teaching and when you have the practice hours, this is because it is self, you are not needed to do the solving of the questions during this hour. This is the hour when your attendance will be marked present or absent. So if in the complete day you solve the problem, next day we see the problems are solved, you get present. Next day we see you have solved 50% of the problem, you get 50% of the attendance, one present, one absent. So you solve it throughout the day, you get the attendance the next day either present or absent based on how much you have completed the practice problems that were given to you. But this teaching hour has to be attended between 7:30 to 9:30 only, and the attendance will be taken by the trainer and will be given to us and we'll mark it on the UMS. Now, the point comes, what would happen to your regular classes during the same period? Now, anyone who completes this all, attends this class, completes their whole practice question session will get duty leaves for the complete day. Duty leaves for the complete day will be there. So if you're attending the complete part, if you're doing the practice as well and you're doing the sessions as well properly, you get the duty leaves for the complete day. So irrespective when you have your classes and everything, you do not need to attend. What you need to cover in the complete day is this part. If you completed this part, you get the duty leave for the complete day. Now let's say let's just do it more vivid. That one student has the training timing as, let's say, 5:30 in the evening. This is, I'm only writing about the training timings, to 8:30 p.m. This is the 3-hour window when he has his training. And let's say we have given 9 to 11 as the practice slot. Okay. Now 9 to 11 a.m. was the practice slot and this is the slot for training. Now, if you attend this 3-hour training completely, you are going to get the duty leave for the complete day when you complete this part of the practice questions. So you do not need to complete it between 9 to 11. You can complete it any time during that day. So you can complete it at, let's say, 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. You can complete it, but before the start of the next day. So tomorrow, if this class is being held on 18th, let's say, 18th 1/22 is this class. Whatever practice problems were given to you, if you complete those practice problems properly, okay, on that given day, that is before 19th 1/22, if you have completed this practice problem, you get the duty leave for all day of 18th. If you didn't even attend a class between 9 to 5, so you do not need to attend any regular classes between 9 to 5. What you need to attend is 5:30 to 8:30, do the practice problems given to you, you get the complete duty leave for the day. Now let's talk about your CA. So what you need to attend is these training sessions and forget about the regular academics for the next 1 month when we are doing the training from 18th. The training is from 18th of January, that is from tomorrow. It is not writing. The training is 18th 1/22 till 13th 2/22. During this period, you forget your academic regular classes, everything. You attend the only the training sessions, do the practice problems, do the reading material that is shared to you, and you get the complete day duty leaves. Now, there might be a case that some of the students do not have a class completely on let's say Monday you don't have a class, and then you don't have a class on for example Thursday, but you have the input sessions planned for you on Saturday and Sunday. So your off days would be Monday and Thursday, and your input days would be Saturday and Sunday. You will get the duty leaves for Monday and Thursday from these 2 days. Don't worry. Okay. So it does not mean that no class you need to attend your academics. So the training is going to be 5 days a week, and the rest of the 2 days would be off for you to practice and create projects in the same domain area which is there, which you have selected. So in this next five days, doing 2 days self study and projects. That is the idea. I can write it as self study and projects. Okay, so every input, either it would be a 5 day, in some cases it might be 6 days as well. In some cases it might be 6 days, but one day would be off for sure. If it is 6 days, your classes might get completed early, but you will get the time to do the project works, because projects is what you will be putting in your CVs and showing it to the companies. So let's be very clear that you would have the inputs properly. If it is an off day, you do not need to attend your academics. You need to just cover whatever is being taught to you, and you will get the benefit for those days. Okay. Now we have talked about the academic classes that you will get the DLs. Now the question stands, what would happen for the CA? The question stands, what is going to happen for CA? We have talked about the duty leave part, that yes, we'll get the DLs, but what is going to happen for the CAs? Let me once clear it. Okay, now let's talk about CAs. Okay, now how CAs would be prorated for you? So what is going to happen for CAs is that the CAs are going to get prorated. Don't know why it is not writing properly. Just let me clean it. So cleaning is the issue. So CAs will be prorated. Now let's understand the prorated logic. There is subject 1 and there is subject 2. Subject 1 is having 4 CAs that are going to be conducted in the semester. Subject 2 has also 4 CAs. Difference between the two is subject 2, all CAs are mandatory, or all CAs are going to be considered for subject 2. All CAs are mandatory. Okay. So if all CAs are mandatory, then you will have proration for the miss CAs. Because all CAs were mandatory, so you have a proration for the CAs. Now, in this one, where it is 4 CAs, what happens is you have option of best 3. That only best 3 CAs will be considered. One is the option of skip. So what is going to happen is one CA that you miss during this training is not considered as a mandatory CA. So if you miss only one CA, rest of the three options are still open to you and you give those three CAs. So no proration if you miss one CA. Just in case during this 1 month period, if you have two CAs that you miss, okay, if you miss two CAs during this training period of a subject, then one CA, which was the optional CA, will be considered. One CA optional will be considered, and the second CA, which is there, and the second CA, which is there, will be prorated. Now, how would the proration happen? Based on the rest of the CAs, because in this subject, you would have given two more CAs. So the scores of those two CAs will be helping the proration of the second CA that you missed into these two CAs. And out here, obviously, the number of CAs, if you have given three or two, whatever, will be helping you to prorate the rest of the mandatory CAs. So only mandatory CAs will be prorated. If you miss one, not a problem. That option was already given to you by the university, and you take rest of the three CAs and you're okay. But if you miss more than one CA and there's a mandatory CA missed, yes, that would be prorated. Okay, now I hope that clarifies the doubt about how your DAs would be considered, how your CAs would be prorated, how your CAs would be considered. So all of this is something which is now clear to all of you. So there should not be any problem in that particular area. So your prorations will be taken care of, your attendance will be taken care of. The only and only thing you need to do is get yourself trained, do one good project or two good projects at least during this 1 month period. And let me tell you guys, this is the only month you have. Forget sleep, forget everything. No new web series that are going to be released for you, no new movies are getting released for you. Nothing is happening for you in this 1 month except and except the training that you are a part of. If you give this next 1 month, that is from 18th, that is tomorrow, till 13th Feb, you dedicate and you devote, I would say the word not dedicate, but you devote yourself towards the training and learning of the technology that you have been assigned to you, I can guarantee that no one will be unplaced, or no one would have, there would be no such student who does this properly, goes through this training properly, and will have not got an offer letter within the next 4 or 5 months. So if you do it properly, you will have an offer letter with yourself within the next 4 or 5 months. You would not have to wait for another year to get the offer. And that's a commitment that I'm giving to you, because when we plan these trainings, we have already spoken to the companies. So being very honest, let me tell you, there are only 60 students who are going for Golang, and I have vacancies of 150 students available. But I've told to companies now I have 60 students. So if someone is very good and learns the Golang very well, you might get a premium package as well. Anything above 12 lakh, 15 lakhs, because now there would be a fight among companies, because they wanted 150, they are getting 60, and all 60s are brilliantly trained. Obviously we can say that okay, our students are very well trained now, I'll not be giving you at a package of 8 lakhs, I need bare minimum 12, or I will need bare minimum 10 lakh package for these students. So I can go out and fight with the companies only and only if my students are trained well. And that is why this next 1 month is very important, that you train properly, you learn this technology properly, you eat, sleep, drink this particular training, and do projects in this particular training in the next 1 month. Okay, so the link will be shared to you immediately after the session. You need to attend only and only your training classes, and you do not need to attend your classes, regular classes that are there from tomorrow onwards. Only the training that needs to be attended. Duty leaves will be taken care of. CAs will be prorated. I've told you how, and the mechanism will be followed, and it is the already approved mechanism of the university, which is also mentioned into the duty leaves and proration policy of the university. So you will not be at loss anywhere. You will only be at benefit. And as I always say, one CA or one placement offer, which is more important to you, you decide. Okay, so that makes it very easy for you to understand and decide and take a call that what is important for you. Okay. Now, just hold on for a second. Do not push any question into the question answer session, because I've asked my team to delete all the questions, because if any new question comes in, I'll not be taking that question right now until and unless I say the question session is open. And I'm just typing in the announcement that is there, okay, which is for the link for marking the attendance. So first students note down that link, and then only you move ahead. Okay, just hold on a second. So the link is there with me. It is bit.ly/PEP SATTN 2023. Let me also check this link at the same time whether it is working or not. Yep. So the link I've shared into the announcement section, guys, you can pick up that link and mark your attendance for the same. And this would be easy for you to get the duty leave that is there. Okay. So I'm typing it again for all of you, and all the questions pushed in have been dismissed. So do not push any further questions. They are not being answered. They are not being read by anyone. Okay. Now, if you have a doubt, please go ahead and ask. Next 15 minutes for Q&A. Now question your question, guys. If you think that was not answered during the discussion I had. Which type of project should be made the student selected in CP? Don't worry, the trainers would be letting you know which kind of projects you have to make. Don't worry about that. Okay. Since we are not studying any academics, so how can we give remaining CAs without studying? Don't worry, Arpit. Not only CAs, you also have to give midterms, which would be hardly 10 days after the completion of the training. So you would have to study for that as well. And there would not be any CA immediately leading to the session. If there would be any CA which is immediately leading to the session, that we will take care of. Okay. So if we are finishing the training on 13 and if you have a session CA on 14, we'll take care of it. I am zero in aptitude not right now. Will placement classes going to help me in this also? So Priyam, for aptitude, you need to work on those skills on the practice platforms like Hit Bullseye, My Perfect Eyes, and I think so Examly, which is given to you. There are video sessions available. There would be aptitude sessions as well, but they would be after this technical training. You don't need to worry about that. That would also happen. Aptitude is there in this semester as accredited. There would be non-credited inputs for that as well. You will be getting that input. Don't worry. But right now, what is important is technical skills. We'll get proration, but for proration, at least one CA is to be given us by all. If we do not attend classes, then how we'll do first CA? It's not about first CA. So 3 CAs are spread towards the complete semester, Utkarsh. You have one CA right now, second CA in March, third CA in April. So you will be giving any one of those CAs. So this training is only for hardly you're going to miss one CA or at best two. If you miss two, you give the third one, which is after midterms. Anyways, you will be studying for that. And when you give that CA, it will get prorated. If you skip any of the training class, you will not get attendance. So training classes are to be attended mandatory. The practice session problems have to be solved throughout the day. If you solve it, you get it. If no, then not. No personal mentor as of now for placement training. You have the trainers with you. one trainer for roughly 60 to 70 odd students in a class, depending on which course you are going for. Okay, and that person would be guiding you properly. Don't worry about that. You do not need to attend any regular classes for the training. I've said that already, and yes, that is right. So for training, you will get the messages. Don't worry, as soon as I end this. AMCAT co-cubes will be held again in April. Don't worry. So selection, Nitesh, I've already told we will be sharing the list and that would be there. Now, what about high radius? So high radius, we are expecting the result somewhere by 20th. So if we get the result by 20th and then they give us a date when you will be starting training with high radius. So whenever they give us the date that you are starting the training with high radius, you will be moved out of this training and pushed into the high radius training. So don't worry about that. Training will be held for all the students. CP, React, Golang, Flutter, Java, all the trainings which were there is going to be there. Midterm are going to be there as it is. There is no change for midterm. For lead code, I've already told you that if you have lead code and you have solved the problems, there were 2 tests, there were AMCAT, there were co-cubes. If you have performed there, you are considered. That is already been taken care of. So you do not need to worry about it. The training will start from basic, will lead to advanced, but the basic part would be covered in a short span. So for Java, C++, the basic part you have already studied all about this, so would be covered in a short span, and then after that immediately it will start with the advanced part of that. So yes, there will be a revision of the basics for sure. All the questions I've answered. There is no fees. There is no charges for this. No PEP classes. No PEP classes during this 1 month. Nothing except this training will be there for you during this 1 month. We are very, very clear. So you are only attending your classes that are training classes, and then you will be getting duty leaves for your regular classes. 13th of February, PEP classes will be held only and only after 13th of February. So you can have the notes from your friends for the classes, regular classes, and you could be running, studying about those classes easily. So those who are shortlisted for high radius, how which subjects would be removed will be told to those students accordingly. But after the result, when the result is declared, we'll have a separate session with those high radius select students and we'll detail them about the process and everything. Okay. But first, let's have the result with us and then. So that dean list and all those things are separate from this training. Those lists will be prepared wholly solely based on the project, certifications and everything that you have done. So that details would be shared to you within this week, and that would be a separate agenda that has nothing to do with this training as of now. So if you do this training properly, you get the projects done, you get the advantage in those things. Okay. So you do not need to worry about those things. What you need to worry about is completing the training, going through the syllabus being taught and yeah, 5 days a week training would be there. Anyone who's preparing for gate or anything else, let me be very clear, get yourself deregistered from the placements immediately. No exemption, nothing that would be uh, listened to. Just a second.